Canto 13. The Knower, the Field and its Divisions. Shri Krishna answered, O Arjuna, this physical body that you own is the field that is to be known. And he who knows in principle its foundation is the knower who knows its mode of operation. As the knower supreme, recognize me, knower of all the fields that can in existence be. The knowledge of the knower and the field is the ultimate wisdom that a being can wield. About the field and its multifarious diversities, of its source, nature, and inherent deformities, and also what it is and what is its influences sphere, I shall explain them to you. So, lend me your ear. The sages and ancient seers of old have in their hymns thus extolled. The Brahma Sutras, the great scriptures classical, describe its philosophy and rationale in a way most logical. The field consists of the ego and the 5 elements. The mind, the 10 senses, their 5 sense components of touch, taste, smell, sound and sight, and also the inextensible and unmanifest light. Desire, dislike, pleasure and pain are the field's principal deformations that reign, and consciousness, differentiation and perpetuation are its principal constituents, with many a modification. Devoid of exhibitionism and self-priding arrogance, replete with non-violence, compassion and a patient tolerance, with purity from within, serving with love the spiritual teacher, and with mind firmly in control over its lower nature. With absolute detachment, devoid of ego's false perceptions, and beyond the pull of nature's sensual attractions, knowing the truth of birth, death, old age and illness, without sorrow, understanding their underlying oneness, bereft of anxieties and familial concerns, his children, wife and home with detachment he discerns, and his mind is ever immersed in truth's tranquil, irrespective of the happenings, for or against his will, practicing yoga with the greatest devotion, loving the Supreme with an unswerving dedication, with the mind directed towards an inner clarity, away from the crowds and gatherings of outer vanity, seeking verily the true knowledge spiritual, understanding its principles philosophical and factual. All these conform to the true knowledge's way. All against this is ignorance, one can assuredly say. I now reveal the wisdom wherein the golden truth is contained, knowing which the immortal consciousness can be gained, the knowledge of the eternal Brahman Supreme, beyond existence and non-existence's limits, one can deem. His hands and feet spread in all directions. Everywhere we see only his eyes and face's reflections. The whole universe, by his divinity, he does engulf and pervade. All life forms are but dwellers in his shelter and shade. In all qualities and senses, his splendor is there, but none of the sense impulses does he himself bear. Detached from all, he nourishes all creations. He enjoys the senses, but they are not his limitations. Present inside and outside, all the living ones, both mobile and immobile, together at once. He is unimaginable, infinitesimally subtler than the subtlest. Beyond understanding, he is nearest and also the farthest. He is the immutable and indivisible oneness, and yet His creatures appear as life forms of distinctness. All the living beings from Him only emerge, and back to His eternity all of them return to converge. The light that illumines light is He, beyond all the forms of darkness that can be. He is the knowledge and He is the wisdom, and in the hearts of all presides His kingdom. Thus the realm of the field I have surmised and shown, and also what is knowledge and what is to be known. When my devotees can know this and realize, then into their natures, my divinity, they materialize. Prakriti is the counterpart of the one being supernal. Like Him, she too is immaculate and eternal. Within her only originate all of nature's qualities, but also arising from her are the many deformities. The domino of cause and effect is her procreation, the experiences of individual consciousness, her creation, and the one supreme being, the Purusha, does but enjoy, experiencing both pleasure and pain with joy. Immersed in her qualities, He presides. Experiencing her nature, He resides. His attachment to Prakriti is the sole cause of all births in mortal wombs of sin and good that He draws. Situated within this physical envelope mortal is the supreme indwelling Lord immortal. He is the witness, observer, and giver of consents. Nature's modes He enjoys, upholds, and augments. He who knows and realizes the duality of the Supreme Purusha and Prakriti's every quality, His way of living or actions notwithstanding, that being certainly finds release from rebirth's bonding. By delving deep into the inner realms while meditation, or knowing the eternal self by the soul nature separation, or else by the yoga of dynamic action, one can gain the indwelling Supreme's realization. But those who are ignorant and do not know of the ways of the paths, or which path to go, when to the knower they listen and follow with devotion, whichever of these paths is tread, immortal is their destination. O Arjuna, every being living on this earth, moving or non-moving, however may be their birth, are caused by the field and its supreme knower's union, as all entities are born in their communion. Seated within all life forms is the One Supreme, residing equally in all beings of the mortal realm. In a perishable frame, the indestructible dwells to be. Whoever can thus see, he is the one who can truly see. Witnessing the existence of the one Lord in all things, he perceives the Supreme's play of forces in all beings. By the flames of passionate desire, he is not injured, and for such a being, the supreme status is assured. It is Prakriti who alone engages and enacts. In all the world's working, she acts, but the self remains inactive and silently foresees. Whoever sees this truth of the world truly sees. When one realizes the unexpressed and latent eternal, dwelling within the myriad forms, the one supernal, because of whom all of existence sustains, the gnosis of the Brahman, he verily attains. Immaculate and without any boundaries or ends, all of nature's qualities, the Supreme Self transcends. O Arjuna, the self is seated within the body, unperturbed, and by the occurrences of nature, he is not disturbed. Like the sky that stretches across all of space, and its subtleness limits not its all-pervading embrace, so too is the self that in all life forms persists, unaffected within the physical body. The self exists. O Arjuna, just as the singular sun's light is adequate to make the whole of the earth bright, so too is the field illumined complete. With the knower of the field's light, it is replete. With the inner eye of knowledge, those who perceive about the field and its knower, they can conceive, and of the individual's liberation from Prakriti's dominion, they attain with the Supreme, the complete merger and union. Thus ended the 13th canto of the Bhagavad Gita, where Sri Krishna described to Arjuna the liberating knowledge of the field, the knower, the Purusha and Prakriti.